Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and what we're going to make are muffins. Someone recently wrote and said that they'd like to see a whole wheat muffin recipe, and I do have several muffins and donut muffins on my channel, so if you happen to not like this one, please check out the channel for my other recipes. But anyway, what I do want to go to first off is to mention you can use actually 100% whole wheat flour, and they will come out well and they will come out delicious. But what I like to use is actually the white whole wheat. I find that the muffin seems to be a little lighter. It seemed that friends, when they tried it, and I made both just so we had a comparison, they tend to like the lighter, the one that's a little less dense. But the whole wheat flour alone, I mean, they're not where I think you'd be disappointed. But I think you might like it if you use the white whole wheat flour. So I'm going to give you the recipe right off the bat. I'm sorry it won't be below the video. I don't do that anymore. But I'm going to go through slowly enough that I hope that if you're interested, you could jot it down and get this great recipe. So anyway, we are going to start off with all-purpose flour, and you are going to use 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. Now I'm using my stand-up mixer, but you can certainly, this is such an easy recipe, you can use your hand mixer. But basically, due to my hand being in a cast, well, this one is going to do the job for me a lot easier today. So again, I generally make it with the hand mixer, but not at this time. The next thing we're going to be putting down is 1 cup of, again, that white whole wheat flour. If you don't have that, or you don't like it, or you don't want to try it, go and use your regular whole wheat. We're also going to be putting in 1/4 of a cup of sugar, and that's granulated sugar. You're going to put 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and yeah, I did say 4. I know that sounds like a lot, but it really isn't, because you really want these muffins to come up light and flaky and have a moisture to them. You're also going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I usually just turn on my mixer just to mix it a little bit. You can use your whisk or a spoon. And the next ingredient that you're going to put in is milk, and you're going to need 1 cup of milk. So I'm just gonna pour that all in. Okay. And you're going to need 1 egg that's been at room temperature. So I'm just going to keep this on really low and put that egg in. Now what you want to do is not to over mix this. You just want it so it's mixed, everything's incorporated, because the longer that you mix it, you know, the muffin will become denser or heavy, and you're probably not going to like it. Now you have a choice on this too. I have 1 1/4 cups of oil. Use whatever type of oil that you prefer. That's so debatable, I don't even mention it anymore, so I leave it up to you. Now, if you don't have oil, don't like oil, go ahead and use 1 1/4 cup of melted butter. I generally, and I've made this recipe with oil and with butter. After I melt it actually in the bowl, in the microwave, and I allow it to cool because of that raw egg. And you decide whether you choose the oil or the cooled butter, melted butter, but it's still 1 1/4 either way, okay? So I'm going to put that in at this time. And then I'm just going to bring it together. just quickly take off the excess and put that aside. Okay. All right. All right, I'm going to show you what the batter looks like. It has a very light, well, like sort of a sandy color or beige. It's nice and silky though, you know, it really is. Now you're going to get 12 muffins out of this recipe, and you're going to bake them at 400 degrees. So you know you really want to watch them, and they could take 20 to 25 minutes. At 400 with my oven, it tends to come around that 20 minutes, even 18 minutes. So that's why I first check them at 15 minutes. But that's up to you, because you know all our ovens set up so differently. Now I'm using a medium scoop, but if you don't want to use a scoop, just use your tablespoon or your wooden spoon. You want about 2/3 filled of your liner, or if you're not, you will need to oil your muffin pan. But that's why I like to use the oil, because that saves me a step. Okay, so again, I fill it about 2/3. I'm not going to take up your time. You certainly know how to fill muffin liners. Okay. Again, you're going to bake them at 400 degrees, and it could take you 20 to 25 minutes or a little less. So do watch them. Now, once they're baked and they're hot, let them cool down for a little bit till you transfer them to a cooling rack, because they will break apart. They really are that fragile. You know, transfer them once you know that you're not going to, break up your lovely muffins, okay? So let me just rinse my hands real quick, or my one hand, I should say. And I'd like to show you what they look like once that they are baked up. And this is how they turn out. They really come out a very light, delicate golden brown on the top. I have another one sitting here too, okay? And then the bottom, you can see it's a golden brown. And then I'm just going to unwrap it, okay? And show you again that nice golden brown and top. And I'm just going to cut into one, because I want to show you the crumb on it. I want to show you the inside of it, and I hope that you can see it, okay? When I press down on it, and you can see already how it's just flaking with my finger there, with my thumb. This is how light and moist and light they are. And then on this other half, I'm just going to kind of squeeze it together, and then I think you can see how light, how delicate. They're not heavy, they're not dense. Where you would think that a lot of people that bake or say, well, I'd like to have a little bit of a healthier muffin, so I'd like to use whole wheat, but you know what, I just hear they're really hard, and they're not light and fragile. Well, these are. Again, with the white whole wheat, they will be a bit more fragile than the regular whole wheat, but you decide which one if you want to give this recipe a try. And in saying that, if you do try this recipe, well, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment or a question. I just want to remind you to please watch me solely on YouTube, because that's the only place that I place my videos. So if you write to me, I'll get that message or that comment, and I will answer hopefully in a very timely fashion. So I guess I want to tell you thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, boy, I'd really appreciate that. Or give this video a like. Again, many, many thanks. So, till the next time I see you, stay well and stay safe. See you soon.